Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to episode number 4 of The Rundown. I know that has been like about a week since I've done the last one. I got nothing else to say other than I was down in Florida visiting Nick, having a good time. We went to Pandora, actually, which, by the way, the new Pandora world in Disney World is absolutely incredible. It is so cool. I mean, I didn't think that they'd be able to actually recreate Pandora like the way it looks like in the movies, but it feels like you're there. All the plants are really cool, the bioluminescence, all that good stuff. And the rides are also really cool too. Since I'm on Pandora right now, might as well talk about it. The ride, the main one, the Flight of Passage or whatever you want to call it, it's kind of first of all, the queue for that line is absolutely incredible. It's so cool. It takes you through the mountains, the floating mountains of Pandora and stuff like that, and then also you get you get into these caves, and then you finally end up in one of the abandoned sites where the avatars were. There was this really cool avatar body there and good stuff. And then the ride itself is probably one of the best rides I've ever been on an amusement park. Absolutely fantastic. If you have a chance to go check out Pandora in Disney's Animal Kingdom, highly recommend doing it. But anyways, a little off topic there. That's essentially why I haven't been doing the rundown. I haven't been able to do it for the past week because I've been down in Florida. I've been caught up with some other stuff. But I'm back now. We're going to talk about movie news, and we've got actually quite a bit of meaty stuff here. Maybe not the quantity of movie topics, but definitely quality here. So we're going to kick things off here with the Dark Universe. If you've clicked on this video, obviously the main headline for today has to deal with the Dark Universe. So we'll go into that right now. Producer and Mummy director Alex Kurtzman, who has been, a pretty prominent figure in jump-starting the Universal Monster Universe known as the Dark Universe. He recently spoke with fandom regarding his plans for the future of the Dark Universe and said the following. We know we're going to do Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, Dracula, Creature from the Black Lagoon, Phantom of the Opera, Hunchback of Notre Dame, Invisible Man. A lot more, I assume, are on the plate, but those are the ones that he mentioned in that interview. And then he also, not only was he mentioning the films on the universe's slate, but he also mentioned some pretty big name talent that he wants to secure for these future projects. So he wants to bring in to the Dark Universe. He went on to say, I'd love to bring Michael Fassbender in. I'd love to bring Jennifer Lawrence in. I'd love to see Charlize Theron in there, Angelina Jolie. And that's essentially it. Those are some pretty A-list talent there. So Universal's The Mummy hits theaters this Friday. All eyes are on it to determine how the franchise will move forward. So really, can they bring you in? Honestly, yeah, it's kind of like, I saw this tweet today. I think it was like Collider posted it. They're like, and you get a monster movie, and you get a monster movie, and you get a monster movie. I mean, it's amazing. They're going after some serious talent here, and I like it because it shows that they have a lot of confidence in this universe. They know what they want to do with it. And they're not, pussyfooting around. They're playing to compete with the other universes out there, even though it's much different than the the comic book universes. But this is kind of cool. First of all, just off the names listed here: Michael Fassbender, Jennifer Lawrence, Charlize Theron, and Angelina Jolie. Unbelievable names, especially Michael Fassbender and Charlize Theron. Those are the two that really speak like incredible talent to me. I mean, not to say that Angelina Jolie and Jennifer Lawrence don't have incredible talent. They really do. But those two names in there, those are Oscar-nominated actors, which, I mean, the other two are as well, I guess, so I can't really make that. But just those two names, they have a lot of gravitas to them. Something that is, just you tack those onto your monster movie, and automatically you're going to get heads turning like, what? But then you also look at a name like Jennifer Lawrence, and it's like, well, she's a pretty big cash cow. She's going to bring in a lot of money. A lot of fans like her and stuff like that. So I can see them going that route too. It's interesting though, because for the movies they have on their docket right here, we've got Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, Dracula, Creature from the Black Lagoon, Phantom of the Opera, Hunchback of Notre Dame, and The Invisible Man. Well, for Bride of Frankenstein and Frankenstein himself has already been cast. That is Javier Bardem. We talked about that, I think, on 2 episodes ago or something like that on the rundown. So Frankenstein is already cast. The Bride of Frankenstein has not yet been cast. And if I were to put money on it, I'd say they're looking at either Jennifer Lawrence, Charlize Theron, or Angelina Jolie to play the Bride of Frankenstein. Now, for me personally, who would I choose? It's a toss-up between Angelina Jolie and Charlize Theron. I think those two would definitely kill the role. This sounds like something that's really quite up Angelina Jolie's alley, and it'd be kind of nice to see her in something else, I guess. I haven't really seen her in quite some time. So to see her in something like this, a big franchise, bring her flair to it, sure, I'd be down. But then also, Charlize Theron is also a phenomenal talent to have on board and whatnot, so I'd be okay with that too. And once again, I'm not going to knock Jennifer Lawrence if they brought her in. Sure, why not? But Charlize Theron and Angelina Jolie would be my picks for the Bride of Frankenstein. Now, moving on to some of the other ones here, obviously, The Invisible Man. They've already casted Johnny Depp in the role. They casted him quite some time ago, so we've got that one off. I think that for Michael Fassbender, he's a pretty big name, and he's got a lot of talent. So I feel like if they were going to have him in one of these movies, they'd probably look to place him in the Dracula role, just because Dracula is such a huge property, well-beloved by a lot of people. You bring in a talent like Michael Fassbender, and all of a sudden, you've got people's attention. It's part of this Universal Monster movie universe. We've got Michael Fassbender as Dracula. I'm sold. Yeah, you got me in the theater already. But some of the other ones here, I mean, the Phantom of the Opera could be pretty cool for Michael Fassbender. Maybe Hunchback, but if I had to choose between them, I'd say probably Dracula or Phantom would be a great choice for Michael Fassbender, really heavily leaning on Dracula. I would love to see a Michael Fassbender-led Dracula film. I think that would be that'd be freaking awesome. I would absolutely love it. So that's all we got as far as the Monster Universe news goes. What are your guys' thoughts on this? What do you think of the names that Alex Kurtzman wants to bring into this dark universe? Do you like them? Would you like to see someone else? Who would you like to see play some of these title roles in the film? Either leave your comments in the comment section below or leave them in the chat board if you're watching this live. I think we can expect some pretty big things from this Monster Universe. They're taking it really seriously, and I'm fingers crossed that The Mummy succeeds and is well received by everyone, because I think this is really, really cool stuff that they're doing here. It's different. It's not comic book related. Oh, Topher Grace. Is that someone you'd actually like to see brought in, Owen? Do you want to see Topher Grace in one of these films? The man who single-handedly ruined Venom. Oh, Jai Courtney. All right, now I know where you're at. All right. Let's move on to the next topic here, which, speaking of Jai Courtney, God, it's like you're reading my mind. Oh, Sam Worthington. Are we just going to bring in all these, wannabe big stars? Anyways, speaking of Jai Courtney, Suicide Squad 2, that is the next topic of discussion for today. Plans for Suicide Squad 2 have already kind of been set in motion since the massive box office success of David Ayer's first film back in last August. Warner Brothers, they said they're aiming for a 2019 release date. That remains to be seen. And actually, in a recent interview with The Hollywood Reporter regarding Season 5 of House of Cards, which, perfect time to plug this, if you are not watching House of Cards, you're not caught up, or you're not watching Season 5 of House of Cards, you need to. The show is just fantastic. I get it, Season 3 kind of sucks, but it gets better. Trust me. Great show. Anyways, I digress. Okay. Yes, Joel Kinnaman, who plays the Republican candidate on the show, and also Rick Flag in Suicide Squad 2, he briefly touched on the status of the DC villain sequel, and he said the following. As far as I know, they're writing the script, and I think the plan is to shoot it sometime in 2018, but that could change. I think I'll definitely come back for it. Well, I would hope so. I actually liked Joel Kinnaman in that film. Then he also gave his thoughts on who should direct the project, saying that Ultimately, I'd love for David Ayer to direct it, but if he doesn't want to direct it, then someone who is great with character and that's able to ground the story and maybe put these characters in a more normal situation. It would be really interesting to see these crazy characters interact with regular people as well. So that's kind of some interesting stuff there. I mean, it's kind of Joel Kinnaman talking off of what he has, off of his knowledge of the project right off there. But it's interesting to see that they're aiming for a 2018 shoot date, which makes that 2019 release date even more probable. And then obviously David Ayer, I think, should be given a second chance with Suicide Squad 2. I know he kind of shat the bed in the first one, but I don't blame David Ayer for the faults in that film as much as I blame some studio interference and stuff like that. So I agree. I would like to see David Ayer back. I think as far as the characters go, he did have a grasp on them. It was just I kind of wanted to see more of them. I wanted more character development, and ultimately I just wanted a better film. But the squad itself was actually one of the highlights of that film. So once again, Joel Kinnaman's talking about someone who's great with characters, that's able to ground the story, maybe put these characters in normal situations. I think David Ayer can do that. He just needs to be given the opportunity to make the film that he wants to make. So sure, and I think he will have learned his lesson from Suicide Squad, improve upon the things that maybe didn't work out so much, regardless of the studio interference. And I think as a result, he'll come forward with a much better end product. As for Suicide Squad coming out in 2019, sure, I think it'll have been what, like 3 or 4 years since Suicide Squad or something like that. I'm bad with numbers. Correct me if I'm wrong. Anyways, that's a fair amount of time. No one's dying for a Suicide Squad 2 at the moment, especially since the first one was so divisive. So I say take your time, make the right movie. Don't rush it by any means necessary. And hopefully, as a result, we'll get a great end product here. So shooting in 2018, sure, I buy it. Let's just get a story together first, and then we'll see what happens there. All right, moving on to the next topic here. Well, also, let me know your thoughts on Joel Kinnaman's quotes in the comment section below or in the chat board. If you're watching me live, what do you think? Do you want to see Suicide Squad 2? Do you think that someone else aside from David Ayer should come in to direct it? Let me know all your thoughts and opinions in the comment section or in the chat board. All right, yes, moving on again. Okay, so Wonder Woman. We're talking about Wonder Woman, which I didn't do the review for Wonder Woman, so time to give you brief thoughts. I think it's an incredible film. I honestly don't have many complaints with the movie. I thought it was masterfully crafted. Patty Jenkins was unbelievable as the director for this. Gal Gadot blew me away. Chris Pine was phenomenal. I even enjoyed the villain. Not going to spoil anything, but I even really enjoyed the villain. A lot to love about Wonder Woman. It was inspiring, powerful. It's exactly what I wanted from a DC comic book movie, or really just a superhero movie in general. I'm going to throw that out there. It's really just the perfect tone and everything that I could possibly want from that movie. So really, really loved Wonder Woman. Honestly, probably one of my favorite comic book movies ever made, and definitely has one of my favorite moments in a comic book film being the No Man's Land scene. So anyways, okay, you got my thoughts on Wonder Woman. Anyways, okay, so moving on to Wonder Woman 2. So there's no plans for a Wonder Woman sequel at the moment. They haven't officially been set in stone, but it's a no-brainer that the successful first outing of the Amazonian princess will undoubtedly get a sequel. Duh. It's going to happen. So naturally, if you've been reading on the interwebs or anything, Patty Jenkins, is already under contract for the follow-up and has already begun planning for where Diana's story could go in the next film. So in an interview with Entertainment Weekly back in April, Jenkins stated that she wants for Diana to come to America, which would be pretty cool. And more recently, in an interview with Uproxx, she was asked whether the sequel would take place in modern times or at some point during the past, say, the 1930s or something like that. Jenkins said the following: "It is, for sure. I'm definitely planning something more interesting using that period of time. Definitely it's the plan. I can't say what it is, but it's definitely right in the pocket of what you're talking about." Pause here for a second. Very, very cool stuff. I would love to see a Wonder Woman film take place in the past again as opposed to modern times. I think that it just ultimately is more interesting, and they can do so much more. They don't have to be bound by the ultimate layout and rules of the DCEU. It's in the past, so they can kind of make up the past as they go along with their character. Plus, there's a huge chunk of time there, and unlike Captain America, she's not frozen. She's actually participating and doing stuff. So I think as a result, I would really be interested in seeing another Wonder Woman movie take place in the past. But anyways, going on to the second half of this, when it came to producer Charles Roven, however, he states that nothing has been written just yet, and he said the following quote: "Nothing has been written. We really want to focus on this movie, and I think the result of this movie is going to really define what the future of Wonder Woman is in the movies." Duh. Other than the fact that you know that she's in Justice League, and we're really happy about that. So those are Roven's comments there. Obviously, he's kind of digging the vibe of Wonder Woman 2. He feels that the movie is good. He also goes on to say in this article, you can find it on Cinema Blend in it's on Cinema Blend and stuff like that. He goes on to say that he was really, really happy with Patty Jenkins' work on Wonder Woman. And so I think that as a result, he's going to want to see a Wonder Woman 2. Now, where the story goes is the big question. It's up for debate. Like I mentioned, 1930s, maybe 1940s, World War II stuff, that could be really, really cool because once again, World War II breaks out. It's kind of hard to believe that Wonder Woman's not going to be involved, especially with the values that she learned at the end of the first Wonder Woman. So I think that could be a cool opportunity there. But if they decide to go modern times, I'm not going to knock it. I'll be okay with it. As long as we get to see more Patty Jenkins directed Wonder Woman, I'm 100% on board. I think, obviously, a sequel is no-brainer. This is all great news, but here's the thing. I don't want them to rush it. I don't want Warner Brothers to go like, oh, wow, Wonder Woman's super successful. Let's just jump on the ball and make a new movie ASAP. No. Give Patty Jenkins the time she needs to craft this film, make it as good as the first one, if not better. Who knows what Patty Jenkins has up her sleeves. This incredible female director, Patty Jenkins, she's got a firm grasp on this property. Clearly, she knows what she's doing. And I want her to be able to do what she wants to do without too many time constraints. I mean, I understand the way the industry works a little bit. You know, we got to pop out a movie here, we got to pop out a movie here, stuff like that. But give her enough time to craft the film that she wants and also the film that we as audience members deserve. And actually Wonder Woman herself deserves. So those are my thoughts on that, Wonder Woman 2. I think this is all great, great news, but once again, not really surprising. If it was up to me, Wonder Woman 2 takes place in the past as opposed to the future. But what are your thoughts? What would you like to see out of a Wonder Woman 2? Do you want Patty Jenkins to come back and direct? Well, I mean, really got no say in it. I mean, she's going to. Let's face it. Do you want Wonder Woman 2 to take place in the past, maybe World War II era, Vietnam? Who knows? Maybe even the Civil Rights Movement. That could be something pretty interesting. Or would you want to see a more modernistic take on Wonder Woman, kind of what they did with the second Captain America, stuff like that? Leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below, and also, if you're watching me live, in the chat board. All right, moving on to the final topic of discussion today. It's really just a trailer. New trailer dropped for Tom Cruise's latest film. Well, I guess not his latest film. His latest film is about to be The Mummy, opening in theaters this Friday. But the next big one that's going to be released is called American Made. It's based on a true story. What I gathered from it is it's this pilot who worked for like the CIA, the DEA, apparently a little bit for Pablo Escobar, some stuff in there. Guys, this trailer was freaking cool, man. It looked really, really interesting, and also we get to see Tom Cruise back in a cockpit, which is completely awesome, especially since this is going to be out before Top Gun 2. We'll get a little bit of a vibe for that, for how he's, adapted to air life before Top Gun 2. Anyways, I don't know what I was saying. I don't know what that really means, but anyways, the trailer was really, really cool. Looks like it's going to be an interesting story. It's going to have high energy to it, and it's actually really nice to see Tom Cruise in something that isn't Mission Impossible or the latest blockbuster film. This looks like it's going to be a smaller film. It's based on a true story. Don't know about its Oscar potential. I mean, could be. I don't know. I have to see the film. But it just looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, interesting, and something different for Tom Cruise. I feel like he'll have to, he always gives it his all in every film he's in, but it's a little bit more than just like action acting and stuff like that. Like he's gonna have to go back to like dramatic acting and stuff like that. And I'm not saying he can't do that. He's very capable of it. We've seen multiple films of him doing stuff like that. But it's just kind of a nice change of pace for Tom Cruise, especially because I think he's one of the best actors in the business. Say what you will about him, in his off-camera life and whatnot. Yeah, sure. I mean, he can get a little crazy at times, but I think that in the industry, that he's going to bring it his all. He's never going to give a bad performance. And so, yeah, I mean, that's ultimately it. But yes, American Made. If you have not seen the trailer for that, go watch it. It looks great. It looks like it's going to be a really, really fascinating film. And with that, that's going to do it for this episode of The Rundown. Thank you for joining me, those of you who watched. And if you're watching this at a later date in time, thank you for watching this as well. I know it's been a little hectic here trying to get another rundown out, but finally got another episode. It's good. It's good to be back. Good to be doing these live streams. So yeah, if you like this video, be sure to give it a like, share it with your friends, like us, subscribe to our YouTube channel, stuff like that. Subscribe or like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter simply by searching Men v Movies. We'll tweet stuff here and there and post stuff on our Facebook page every now and then. And yeah, if you like me specifically and you like what I have to say, you can always give me a follow on Twitter at Griff Schiller. All right, hopefully we'll have another episode of The Rundown out for you guys later this week. So until next time, thanks for tuning in and take care.